I wish I could just sit here and talk to you about bravery, but I think it was just my mentality and my mindset and just a calculated decision to where I felt like this was the smart move for me to make.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Winners Win podcast. We are here still at Gov Gold, Scottsdale, Arizona. Beautiful Scottsdale. This is crazy. Like, I don't even golf.
Yeah, I golf, and this is making me want to get my clubs out right now, for real.
Yo, this is
Got
crazy.
the American flag in the background, man,
This is it right here.
And we're talking capitalism. What's more American than that?
It is what it is. Let's do it. So I got my man with me today, Mr. Sterling Birdsong, and we're just going to jump right into the Winners Win way and just talk about that. So first of all, I want to say thank you for coming out here and dropping gems like you did. Sure. I mean, you went crazy in there and really gave the people everything. And that's why when I reached out to you, I knew you would have an amazing impact on the community, on the small business community. So first of all, before we even start, thank you again for coming and doing
my
this.
Pleasure.
I appreciate you. It was dope. So kind of let everybody know a little bit about who you are, kind of where you come from, and the background behind it.
Yeah, so my name is Sterling Birdsong. I own a company called Lendra, and what we are is we're a nationwide SBA loan advisory firm. So I've been involved in the SBA lending space for the last 13 years. I did 3 years as an underwriter. I did 10 years inside of the bank doing SBA transactions. So I got a lot of deal muscle built up over those years, and I decided to leave banking back in December. On MLK Day, I actually went ahead and launched my company, Lendra. Everything's intentional.
Yes, sir.
And we're really excited about this year and where we are right now. We have a very big pipeline of deals, and we're just continuing to grow.
Man, so banking, that is a cutthroat industry.
Yeah.
At all sides. So doing it from the inside, how was that, being a young black man inside a bank trying to?
Listen, man, it's not easy being a young black man in a lot of things, right? Just in life. Inside the bank is no different.
Right.
I've had experiences. Even by the time I was a top producer and was getting ready to, leave the bank, I still had people making comments about, my jewelry and stuff like that to the CEO of the bank. Just silly stuff, right? And I'll never forget, this is probably the day I knew I had to get out of corporate America, when a customer said the N-word on the phone with me. And, my bank did not decline that loan. They just assigned it to the next person, and that deal got done in 2 weeks, right? So that's when you're just a number in corporate America, right? So, those are just two of the things that, come to mind. But there's been so many little microaggressions and things like that happen over a 13-year career.
I'm sure.
And that's why it's nice to have ownership and have power now.
See, that's really one of the things that started me wanting to do this podcast, and it's all about what the winners win mentality is.
Yeah.
Like, you were in that situation dealing with that, and you were like, yeah, no. Because most people could have said, you know what, I'm out of this, and that breaks them, and they just go do work for another bank. But you said, no, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna go do this on my own.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand on my own 2 feet and show y'all that I do really know what I'm doing. I am good at this. So that's dope for me. Now, Lendra, kind of break down kind of what the SBA advisory stuff is and what you guys do for people.
No, exactly. So if somebody wants to get an SBA loan, they may not know how to approach a bank. They may not know what their eligibility is. Mm-hmm. So basically, they can come to us and we will help them package the loan, we'll help them structure the loan, we'll make sure that it meets eligibility criteria. We even maybe help them with the business plan for the loan as well. Maybe potentially even help them with filling out the paperwork. So basically, we are making sure that they are aligned with what the bank is looking for so that they can get the best chances of an approval. Okay, and then we take it one step further by shopping it to our network of lenders. We have more than 40 banks that are signed up with us right now to receive SBA transactions from us.
Wow.
And we have each one of them fill out their own profile so we know exactly what their credit appetite is, so we don't waste time. When we go out to the market, we usually go to our initial pools, usually 5 to 7 different lenders, but we know that these are the lenders that like this deal type. If it's a hotel, I'm not going to send it to the people who don't do hotels, right? We're going to go to the best hotel lenders. We're going to make sure we get you the best possible pricing. And more importantly, we're going to make sure we get you a yes.
That's game changer, because You know, the SBA loan process, loans in general, can be a pain to navigate. Then when you add the SBA on top of it with all the restrictions and the paperwork, the average small business owner, they're not going to shop at the 5 banks.
No, not at all. Not at all.
They're going to go to one bank, get enough. Like, you know what? I don't even really need the money.
Yeah. No, that happens a lot, man. And listen, SBA is not the easiest financing to get. I'm never going to tell people otherwise. I don't sell dreams. I just, sell reality, right? And that's why it's helpful to work with somebody like us. And to be honest, in a way, it's kind of my moat, right? Because I talk to either different types of loan brokers out there, and they're my best referral source. Because they don't want to deal with SBA either.
That makes sense.
But the thing is, it is still such a good product. That's what I want to make sure that people who are watching this know is that like SBA definitely has its space in this ecosystem, and it's a really big space. Because for a business acquisition, for example, that's going to be in that 5 million or less range, it's the premier product.
Yes.
And it's the premier product not because I say so, but because the bank says so. The banks are going to try and get you into an SBA loan because that's what's best for them. And in a way, it's also what's best for you because they're doing 90% leverage. And again, that's how they're saying yes. And you want to get your deal done, right?
Yeah, all
So
day.
I think SBA is a fantastic product, and it will continue to be very prevalent, especially in that business acquisition space as well.
Yeah, and that's one thing I want to talk about next too is the acquisition space. Because everybody knows I'm hot on acquisitions right now. I love it. With the silver tsunami taking place, all the baby boomers retiring, in government contracting, I see it as one of the easiest ways to scale. And that's why I got into it, because I would have students that I was working with, and they're like, yeah, I want to do this government contracting thing, but I don't have the past performance, I don't have the people, I don't have the money. I'm like, acquisition gives you all of that.
Yeah.
You buy a company that's been doing work with one agency for 5, 10, 15 years, might have a multi-year contract with an agency, has the subject matter experts in place. That's years and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that it just saved you.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah,
so
it's a cheat code.
It's a cheat code. In our industry, that is like the premier way to shoot yourself to the top. So I'm like, I started seeing it, I'm like, okay, this is dope. And then now we start looking at the lending side of it, SBA just makes sense.
It makes so much sense. And the beauty of SBA as well is that once you get that first deal done, then you can start stacking up the other deals at 100% financing. So you don't even have to put any more capital in once you get the first deal. So think about it this way. Maybe you start small.
Yeah.
Your first acquisition doesn't need to be 5 million. It could be 500,000. So you're talking about 90% leverage on that. So you're bringing, 50K roughly to the table, right? And then all of a sudden you say, okay, I've operated this for 6 months or a year. Now I want to go do $1 million acquisition. And $1 million acquisition, you can do it as an expansion and not have to put money down. So now you got 1.5 million in debt or acquisitions that you've done for 50K down, right?
See, that's why, in my opinion, that's why people need to get with somebody like you to really do that. And that's what I try to teach my people here at Gov Gold. That's why I had you come in, is because what I want to show them here at Gov Gold is you need to get with somebody like Sterling, not when it's too late and it's, hey, I gotta get this deal done, can you help me out? No, lock in with you now and say, hey man, this is my acquisition and this is my growth plan.
Yeah, we gotta prep for this.
With that.
Yeah, we gotta prep for this. You can't come to me when you are under contract and you have 3 weeks left. We gotta have a good 90 days to get you financing. And really you should be talking to me 120 days out so we can make sure that we get all your ducks in a row, because your accounting might not be right. You might not have the business plan done. But if you come to me early enough, we can make sure that we get you with the right people on our team that can make that happen for you so that you are in a good position. Because when we get to the bank, we want you in the best light possible. We don't want to have to sell the bank on you. The truth of the matter should sell itself in terms of what are you showing on your financials? What are you showing in that plan? How are you presenting in terms of your liquidity? What does your net worth look like? We don't want to have to oversell you, and we can help you if you get to us soon enough so we can position you the right way.
Now, if we're going down the road of an acquisition, right, and we're looking at acquisitions in a form of scaling and stuff like that, like, are you able to help with somebody and say, hey, you're here today, but you want to get here, and you kind of work with them throughout the whole process? You guys aren't just like a one-time type of scenario,
No,
right?
I mean, we have people come back to us multiple times, and mind you, we've been around not a very long time, right? You know what I'm saying? But we've already got, repeat people who have come back to us now. I got a guy right now, he's doing a cash out refinance on a hotel property that he owns, and then he just came back and says, hey, I'm about to go ahead and acquire a self-storage facility. So we're working on his second deal right now. He's already talking about deal number 3. He's going to do another cash out deal later on this year. So but he's coming back to us because he just likes the way that we work. And he's okay, because we do charge. We don't work for free, of course, right? As we should, we provide value. But he sees the value that we provide, and he would rather pay the 1% to us, versus doing it himself.
For somebody like me, and I'll tell each and every one of you, I've been doing business, not even just acquisitions, for a long time. Mm-hmm. So to have the ability to have access to somebody like you guys, that's what you do and you enjoy doing it, and it's a fee. Yeah, go ahead and do that, because that's not only going to save me.
And it's usually built into the loan, so you don't have to pay out of pocket usually.
I'm taking that 8 days a week. I'm like, no, bro, handle this, because the time that it's going to save me of doing all the things, the money that it's going to save me, because I'm probably going to have to pay my CPA multiple times to help me fix things that if I would have came to you, you could have told, hey, just do this, bro. This is all we really need.
Yeah.
Get that out the way. Then to know that you're going to be working on my behalf to shop it to potentially 30 different banks, as opposed to me going to 2 banks, which I'm probably going to go to the 2 wrong banks.
Right.
Because I don't even know who to go to.
What people do is they just go to the bank they're most comfortable with.
Right.
And a lot of people bank with these massive banks, right? They bank with the one that's on every street. So it's Chase, it's Wells Fargo, it's Bank of America. Those are oftentimes not the best place for a small business.
Yep.
If you're a $100 million revenue company, that's cool. Go to Bank of America, they'll take great care of you. But if you're doing $2 million a year in revenue at your business, or $5 million a year in revenue, there's smaller banks out there that will treat you like you're not just a number. But when you go into those big banks, it's a slaughterhouse, man. They don't care about you.
The one thing that I think about your story and just you in general is real dope, and I really learned more about it when we were just sitting there and you were speaking, is that you're very similar to me from a business model. I tell people all the time, I take on that Hair Club for Men adage. You remember the guy that had Hair Club for Men? He would get on and be like, I'm not only the CEO, I'm also a client.
Yeah.
Whereas when you were talking, you are a business owner and doing acquisitions now as well.
Absolutely.
So it's not just, you're not just a banking consultant and advisor. Yeah. No, you do the business as well.
No, I practice what I preach, man. I mean, honestly, part of why I'm so passionate about this is because I use it. Because I'm using this to also change the trajectory of my life and my family's life. Not just by helping people get SBA loans, but by using SBA loans to go out and do these acquisitions. I've done 3 acquisitions in the last year.
Wow.
And I will hopefully do more, in the future, right? So it's like, I really am true to this. I really believe in the sauce that I'm selling.
When we just had that panel discussion and you were talking, I was like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. It's because there's so many people out there today, and I'm sure you see it in your industry. You go online and everybody is a master and a guru at these different things they talk about. Right. And then you ask them, well, how's your business doing? Well, I shack it up. Oh, here we go.
Their business is the course.
Yeah, and so
it's just the webinar.
When you start talking, I'm like, yo, this is what I'm talking about. People like you that, you have Lendra, and that's what you're doing. You provide a service because you're passionate about it and you're good at that business.
Yeah.
But you are also a businessman utilizing said products that you're talking to people about.
Yep.
You're going out here, you're running your own small businesses, so you know the pains that a small business owner goes through.
Absolutely.
Right? So to me, that's amazing. Do you mind kind of talking to everybody about your small businesses and what you actually own and operate?
Yeah, so I have 5 tanning salons that I own right now. 3 of them were acquisitions, 2 of them I actually built and started myself. And I talked about when we were inside trying to scale to 20 from that 5. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that many more acquisitions, hopefully a few here and there, but I'm gonna have to do a lot of ground up, startup ones. But, that's what I do with the money that I make from SBA, right? I'm taking it and taking my knowledge, and then I'm using that to then scale my own business that I also plan on exiting in the future. So the same thing that I help people do, where I'm like, hey, come in here, we're gonna help you do this acquisition, then maybe you can do an expansion, then maybe do another expansion. All of a sudden you build this conglomerate, and then you get to sell it off to private equity and get an exit, and then go do the whole thing over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I was golfing with a guy on Friday who was in the government contracting space, exited for 8 figures, and now he's talking about starting with a deal that's 500,000.
That's literally my story. Like I tell people, like what I'm doing, and we talked about it in there, is I exited in 2017, and now I'm back and I'm starting over with deals from ground zero, and I'm doing it through acquisition because I know what I was able to do on my own without the right systems, process, and people in place. So to now have the resources to people like yourself to help, structure things for me, people like Kenny, Larry, Oliver, who spoke yesterday, like having the resources that I now have and the knowledge, okay, I can do strategic acquisitions, I can put people in place, I have the team that I can build around me, I can get to where I want to get to and now do a 9-figure exit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so for me, that number is a 9-figure exit. So what is the number or plan for you that you set up for yourself and like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do?
Ooh, that's a great question because one thing about me is that I've never put a ceiling on myself.
I love it.
People will underestimate you for you. You don't have to underestimate yourself. And so, that's a great question because I've seen so many guys who I think are like-minded to us who they have that big exit like you're talking about, and then they might sit back for a year, but then they get that itch again, and then they get right back in.
That's exactly what it's been.
At my bank that I left most recently, the chief credit officer had been retired twice already because he had been involved in numerous bank exits. But he said, I went home, I finished Netflix. I got tired of golfing alone. Everybody was still at work, And so, what does that number look like for me? I mean, listen, if I can get to 20 Glotane locations and I can flip that for a really big number, somewhere probably mid 8 figures range, that would be a great place for me to be. And then, you play with house money at that point, right?
Yes, sir.
But the key is you're playing with house money, but you never stop playing the game.
Yeah.
I'll work to the day I die.
Same.
In some form of, I'll work on my terms. I'll work on what I want to work on, but you have to work. You have to have purpose in life. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. You won't even know why, but it's because, the miserable days working are what make the great days working feel so good. You need highs and lows as a human being. It's just part of your journey, right? And so it's like when you feel like you are providing value to the world, when you provide more value than you take from other people, it just puts you in a good mental space. And so that's what my goal is, and I'm always going to continue to do that.
Yeah, that's why I do these events.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like,
your girls were telling me last night, they were saying, like, yeah, he doesn't have to do this. He does it because he wants to make sure that these opportunities are still available for the next generation of people to come along and utilize these government contracts.
Man, I love doing these events, and it's like I sit in the back of the room and I watch the excitement of people when it starts to make sense, right? So like your presentation, you're up there and you're going, and I had to almost kind of stop some because they was going to ask questions for like 2 hours and they was going to hold you. So that's how I was kind of like, all right,
we're good.
It's because, but that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times small business owners don't have the ability to ask the questions.
Of course.
They're not able to be in the rooms with people
100%.
like yourself that have been at the bank, being the one saying, no, this loan is approved or denied. And these are the reasons why this loan was approved or denied. And so I get great gratitude from being able to facilitate that for people. And that's what we talk about, like passion and purpose. For me now, that's a large part of my passion and my purpose is to be a facilitator and a conduit of resources and information for people. Absolutely. To give them access to people. And it's even, great for me to do it. I love it. And I'm just so blessed and appreciative of individuals like you that when I reach out, be like, yeah, I'll do it for you, bro. Because it's like, damn.
Off the rip.
Bro, and it's like, and the people, the attendees, they're asking me like, man, how do you get these people to do it? I'm like, honestly, shit, I don't really know.
It'd be amazing what happens if you just ask sometimes.
You just ask.
A lot of people are afraid to ask.
Man, I think that's the crazy thing. Speaking of that, that's a great thing. We talk a lot, and we talked over the weekend about things like fear and asking. What was a moment for you throughout your business career, because you did something that a lot of people didn't do. You went from corporate America to your own in a blink of an eye and just said, nah, I'm doing this and it's gonna work.
And if I told you how much W-2 I left on the table, you'd probably be sick.
Imagine. You probably left what people are searching for, and
100%.
And you bet on yourself.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you to really say, you know what, nah, I'm going to do it and not have the fear, because I think that that's what holds a lot of people back.
Oh, 100%.
Not just going from W-2 to self-employed, but even from self-employed, going from 6 figures to 7 or 8 figures is that fear. How did you overcome that?
So, I wish I could take 100% of the credit for it, but it also, my banking career came to kind of a fork in the road. And I had to make a decision whether or not I was going to move with my division to a new bank or say, hey, you know what, I think I'm done here, and then go out on my own. And so, I thought that with me having 10 years of experience, as a lender, 3 years as an underwriter, and having already been building a personal brand for myself for the last 18 months, I just felt like the stars were aligned, and I had an unfair competitive advantage that I was uniquely positioned to go out and do what I'm doing. And so, I wish I could just sit here and talk to you about bravery, but I think it was just my mentality and my mindset and just a calculated decision to where I felt like this was the smart move for me to make. I just felt like this was perfect timing, and I saw how mathematically I could make it work. And that's how, I made a calculated decision. I didn't make a willy-nilly, brave, wild decision, and that gave me a lot of confidence to know that I can go out and do this and be successful. Now, once you actually pull that plug and you get in the arena, that's a different story. Because then you start seeing those months where the account's going like this, and you having to figure it out. And that's the process that we're still in, right? And we're continuing to build. And now I can breathe a lot easier because what I've been building is coming to fruition. You know what I'm saying? So now the checks are coming in and not always going out, and that's a good feeling. But once you get in that arena, it's good when you burn your boat. Are you familiar with the burning your boat parable?
Talk about it.
Okay, so basically there was a general whose men had to go to an island, and essentially they had to, fight this tribe that was on the island, and they had to, make this island theirs, essentially, right? So they get to the island, and these guys are just complaining, man, why are we doing this? We don't want to be here on the island. We could go back home. It's perfectly fine there. Why do they want us to take over this island? Whatever, right? When those soldiers went to sleep at night, the general went out and burned all the boats that were sitting in the water. And he said, guess what? We're here for good now, so we got to make it work. And so you got to burn your boat. By me leaving W-2, I burnt my boat. Wow. I am here now, and so you got to make it work.
That's it. There's no other way. What's the future hold for Sterling and Lendra? What's the next evolution of things?
Yeah, so the next evolution is tomorrow we're going to start soft launching our new platform. And so basically that'll be automated. You'll be able to go into our platform and actually apply for a loan, essentially.
Wow.
And it will direct you to different channel partners based on how you answer our set of questions. And so that's going to allow us to scale and really help serve that smaller loan space. Because the thing is that people need $100,000 SBA loans.
Oh yeah.
They need $50,000 SBA loans. But the boutique approach of hand-holding somebody through that is not economically sustainable.
Yeah, so a lot of people just not gonna, they're just not gonna do it. Nobody's gonna do it.
No one's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, how do we service those people and make sure that they're still getting to the right place and getting serviced while at the same time making it automated and scalable. So that's going to be live tomorrow. It's basically already done.
Y'all heard it's going to be live
So it's going to be live tomorrow. Lendra.com, Lendra.com. Go ahead and click start my application, and you can apply for an SBA loan.
Yeah, I'm gonna get we'll get the links from you too, so we can drop it in the comments, because that's gonna be major for people.
Absolutely.
To really have direct access, and it's like no gatekeeping, no nothing, just boom, fill this out, you get right there. That's amazing. I like that. Well, man, once again, I want to say thank you for not just doing the podcast Winners Win, but coming out here to Scottsdale and dropping gems.
Yeah, of course.
Any final thoughts you want to leave everybody with?
Man, I'll tell you what, my brain is fried. I'm ready. I'm ready to go eat.
It's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend. Nah, I mean, listen, man. People like this is why I decided to come here this weekend, because it's not just about talking to a new audience. It's also about meeting people who are doing important things.
I appreciate you.
You know what I'm saying? And so I like to surround myself with people who do. I think Kanye West says, like, I like to hang out with people who do dope shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My man.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, you hang out with people who are thought leaders, who really are pushing a culture forward. And, this has been just as much of a pleasure for me as it has been for you, man. So, this won't be the last time.
My man, I appreciate it. Well, thank you again, bro, for pulling up on us. And thank you guys for watching another episode of Winners Win. I'll see you next time. Peace.